Hi, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Southeast Delco Board of Directors Committee of the Whole meeting for Thursday, March 19th, 2026. First thing we're going to start with is we're going to get right to our committee reports this evening. So last month marked the first month of implementing our committee structure. And as with any new process, we're still actively working to refine and improve how the committees operate. The goal is to develop a clear and efficient system that supports communication, organization, and productivity. During this initial phase, we are learning what works well and identifying areas that may need some adjustment. So moving forward, we will continue to make improvements and ensure the committee process runs smoothly and effectively supports the work of the board. So tonight, we are going to start with our education items and the curriculum committee. Our chair for curriculum committee is Ms. Michelle McGowan.
Of course you want to start with me. Okay, so while I am going to be going with my committee report, it is going to jump around a little bit from what you see on the agenda, just because my report was prepared before the agenda was prepared, so it's a little out of order, but everything will be covered. Trust. Okay. So on March 5th, the curriculum committee met, and we discussed agenda items as it related to education and providing educational opportunities and curriculum to the students of Southeast Delco. And administration provided information on the upcoming oratorical competition for grades 6th, 7th, and 8th throughout the district. And it is scheduled to take place on May 27th, 2026. Tentatively, we're trying to figure out times right now. It's looking to be between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m., sometime in between there. Times are going to be finalized. The location, we're still working on that part to make sure that as many children get to participate as possible, or at least view it as possible. We're still looking into that. As it stands right now, there will be a very special performance by Schoolyard Rap, which is this incredible program that I sincerely wish everyone could get to see, because it is just so amazing. And they will be, it's a program that is built on building up culture, the culture of, and in this specific iteration, it would be African American history, Latin history, Eastern European or European history, and South Asian Pacific. Thank you. My tongue is getting so tied. I am so sorry. But this is a show that I truly, truly hope that clips will get out so that you can see just how dynamic this performance is. We're hoping to have another show for the high school as well, because this is a very important message to get out, to have pride in yourself, where you come from, to learn and grow, and to learn about other cultures that are right around you, your neighbors. So it's something that is very positive and a very uplifting message, so we're hoping to get this out to as many students as possible. So the contract has to be kind of tweaked again, so we'll be finalizing that, and the board will be receiving updated contracts as soon as they're made available. Hopefully before the next or before the board business meeting, it may be like an updated and put into the folder for everyone to view and approve prior, or not approve, but to view and look through before the board business meeting. Next up, there were 2 confidential settlement agreements for 2 students, and we also have a service agreement for Nyman Associates for behavior management support services. Currently, we use Gamut. However, Gamut sometimes has difficulty staffing behavioral health management support services because they just don't have people that are there. So this is more of a supplemental at the moment. Nyman Associates currently provides support to Pendelco, and we're highly recommended. So we're pleased to begin to offer those services and to partner with them. And Nyman Associates can also bring in teams to work on building behavior plans for emotional and social and emotional support. So these are things that we are looking to potentially begin partnering with them with, and it would be a wonderful opportunity to help lighten that tension of not having enough support on hand. There is a program placement agreement for 3 students to begin attending Keystone Freedom Academy. That information is also located in the folder in case anyone needs to look through the agreements. There is a service agreement extension for the Chadsport Alterna Care Incorporated, also doing business as Criticare. This agreement covers substitute support staff that will include registered nurses, I'm getting tongue-tied again. Licensed practical nurses, personal care assistants, registered behavior technicians, teacher's aide, clerical, library aides, lunchroom monitors, and support staff. This extension now covers until June 26, 2027. And the details of this agreement are also available in the education folder for any of the board members to review. We have an MOU, which is kind of exciting, with Head Start to work with the district directly to help families get registered for kindergarten. Now, this is a huge win, and this is to help parents by with the process of transferring, getting all the records and everything together to help your child get registered for kindergarten. This is an opportunity for us to work directly with Head Start to make this process easier for our students so that it's a smoother transition from Head Start into Southeast Delco, especially for the parents, because it's a bit intimidating having to get all that paperwork together and to set up time to come and meet with the register. So there's an opportunity for us to have people potentially go to Head Start locations to help families get registered, which is a win for us because that's an opportunity to make more connections, let them meet the people, come on back over to Southeast Delco, not heading to that charter school. Let's just put it out there. We have 4 expulsions this month to approve, 3 from Harris, 1 from Delcroft. We also have 4 administrators attending the 2026 PASA Women's Caucus Conference, May 17th through May 19th in Hershey, PA. The cost is not to exceed more than $17,000. Wow, again, $1,700. Oh my gosh, I do this every month. I'm so sorry. I give our finance team a heart attack. $1,700 to be paid from the general fund. Attendees will be the following: Dr. Shannon Riddick-Smack, Dr. Deborah Gibbs-Tapper, Leanne Hudson, and Barbara Young. There were changes made to the 2026-2027 school calendar that have been made, and the new calendar has been uploaded to the folder, and it was updated to move spring break to the week prior to Easter. The previous calendar had it the week after Easter. And the last day for students is now Friday, June 11th, with the last day for the teachers being Tuesday, June 15th. So yay, because previously the last day was a Monday, and good luck trying to get kids to want to get up and go to school for one day that week. This way, Friday, yay, and you're out. Key questions that were raised were field trip request procedures. The administration had clarified the request process for requesting a field trip and including what the ratio of teachers to chaperones should be. Teachers wishing to request a field trip are to speak with their building principal to receive the field trip packet. They need to complete the packet, including a second trip date if the trip is out of state, to give the board time to vote. While chaperones should be selected as soon as possible to ensure that everyone has their clearances to attend, if there is difficulty locating chaperones, ESC administration will help locate eligible chaperones. A request for a report on how many field trips each school has either completed or has scheduled has been requested in order to ensure that we are achieving Dr. Sanchez's goal of ensuring that every student has an opportunity to attend at least one field trip a year. This report will be compiled and provided at a future meeting and shared with everyone. Questions were raised about the CSI plan for Academy Park, and an update on the progress with the CSI plan has been requested, and this will be provided at a future meeting. I believe there is a presentation on some information coming at next week's meeting, or is that?
Next week, we're going to have folks from EF Tours. I think they're scheduled to be at a future meeting with I can check the date. I think Dr. Reddick's max month to present is next month.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Oh, that was April. My apologies. I keep forgetting what month this is. Okay, so that's coming in the April meeting. There was a request for curriculum data. A request was made for a comprehensive report of all curriculum used in each grade, school and grade. This report should include the contract length and cost. There was a question of whether teachers are given a curriculum survey at the end of the year to give feedback on the effectiveness. The response is that there is surveys that are done when the curriculum is ending towards the end of the year, which is wonderful to hear that we are getting buy-in from our teachers and who are actually teaching the curriculum to help our administration shape whether or not this particular curriculum is a success and to look for opportunities in the future, which is really wonderful to hear. Areas of agreement included to avoid, we had to change our meeting schedules around because we were having conflicts with other meetings, and so to avoid the conflict of the committee meetings, the curriculum committee will now move their meetings to the first Thursday of each month, with the exception of this next meeting, because that meeting would fall in the middle of spring break, so we are moving that one to April 7th. There was, anything that was for fiscal impact would be the settlement agreements, the placement agreements, the service agreements, the schoolyard wrap. They all have a financial impact as they were not included originally in the budget. And we will hopefully have the schoolyard wrap contract available by next week for us to review prior to voting. And there was general consensus. There was no policy items raised. And the recommendation at this time is to approve all of the items that have been submitted to the agenda as they have been presented. And our next meeting is again, April 7th, 2026. And the rationale for why to attend, or to move forward with these recommendations is that all items are necessary towards the goal of providing a quality education and a diverse education to the students of Southeast Delco. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mrs. McGowan. Does anybody have any questions or comments about that report? Okay, thank you. Next, we're going to move to our Finance Committee. Mr. Ridley, the chair, will be reporting out tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Our meeting was held on March the 10th, 6 p.m. Our agenda items that were covered were carryover items from our previous month, the current finance report items, upcoming budget planning sessions and recommendations, and a few miscellaneous items. To give a summary, the committee reviewed the reported month-to-date financial expenditures, agreed that with the date of the committee meetings, the totals would be continued to be updated after our meeting, all the way up to the regular board business meeting. This is being done so that we can have the most accurate current numbers at the business meeting. We also discussed the current budget surplus, what it entails, and the likelihood of the amount remaining stable or increasing or decreasing. Finally, a brief discussion was had regarding the process to figure out how to incorporate the potential funding for various capital improvement projects into long-term budget plans for upcoming years, things including Sharon Hill renovation, the building of a middle school, and other items. The key findings that we got out of it was that the ongoing budget surplus is a result of both prudent fiscal management steps taken by our CFO, as well as payments that were made and owed to the district. The amount that's reported currently will decrease, though, within the next month or two due to district payments and obligations. While that amount will decrease, the district will still see a surplus for the year, which will allow for both a cushion and some flexibility for the upcoming budget process. Our committee reached a consensus. I do recommend that the items that are on the agenda tonight are ratified and voted on and approved. That is my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Ridley. Does anybody have any questions or comments about the finance report tonight? Go ahead, Mr. Butler.
Madam President, can I just cover the agenda items very quickly? And should I do my budget presentation at this point, or we're just doing agenda review? We can circle back to it, your call.
You can do it now if you like, because we're in the finance part.
Okay, alrighty. So the agenda items for next week meeting, there are 12 of them. Item 1 is the certification of use of the PDE 2028. This is, each year we have to obtain permission from the Department of Ed to use that form to post it on our website. So that's the resolution for 2627. Item 2 is attendance, a conference attendance for our Director of Security to the 2026 NASRO School Safety Conference. I do believe that this item may be pulled by next week, but it's on the agenda for this evening. Item 3 is the purchase of walkie-talkies. They are out, the current walkie-talkies that we have that are being replaced are outdated and antiquated. Item 4, this is a purchase of a dual door control reader systems. This will be at Harris School and also at this building, the ESC building. That will be from Advanced Electronic Security. Item 5 is the approval of the Delaware County Intermediate Unit General Operating Budget for 2627. Number 6 is also, this is not also, it's also, well, it is also from Advanced Electronic Security. This is for a subscription agreement for the Evolve, the weapons detection system that we have at our school buildings. Item 7 is also Advanced Electronic Security. This is an agreement for, a comprehensive agreement for maintenance of the Avigilon cameras that we have throughout the district, and this is just the annual, this is an annual payment in the amount of $36,147, but it's a 3-year contract. Item 8 is a grant application for 2 grants for facility improvements. One is for Darby Township. Both are identifying roofing repairs or replacement, and the other is Academy Park High School, and you can see those dollar amounts. I will say that the grant amount for one is $4 million. Let's see here. No, I'm sorry. The grant amount for the first for Darby Township is $5,358,000, and we have our portion. The difference is the grant amount and our contribution for both of those. Each school will have to pay 25%. It's a total amount of $2,837,350. Items 9 through 12 are tax assessment appeals as listed. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sure.
So for the public school facility improvement grant, each school has to pay $2,837,000, or is that the total?
That's the total,
The total that
Yeah.
both schools paying 25%? Okay,
correct.
thank you.
And we only did 2 schools because just being conservative, we didn't want to, because our contribution would be $2.8 million. And although there are other facilities that are in need, these were the 2 primary locations that would be in need. And we'll carve out money out of fund balance to take care of these issues.
So there's no plan to, I know that Sharon Hill is in desperate need of repair, so between Darby Township and Sharon Hill, Darby Township has the greater need?
Yes, so in reference to Sharon Hill, there is a capital improvement plan that will be presented in the next couple of months that will replace that school. We will, if you recall, when we did the HVAC project for all the school buildings, we made a strategic decision not to put that amount of money into that building because of the condition and the age of that building. So we only did window units versus the central air or, Mr. Taylor, split unit configurations. So that building has a different planned outcome. And if there are no more questions, I'd like to move into the budget presentation. Let me just get it up on the screen. I have some additional copies here of the document if anybody needs some. There you go. Every board member should have them, but. Okay, this is the second meeting. Well, this is the first meeting, we just went over what the process would be, the first couple of meetings, what the process would be. So this meeting is to go over additional steps in our process. So if you have the handout, please certainly follow along. So table of contents, what we'll be covering tonight is the 26-27 budget expense challenges. We have what we know now. We have charter school costs. We have Act 1 index for Southeast Delco. And the Act 1, as I get to that slide, is about the homestead, it's the Taxpayer Relief Act. The next item is the 26-27 budget expenses for by object code. Tonight, we're going to be covering object code 300 through 900. The other two object codes, 100 and 200, are salaries and benefits. And that will be covered, as you will see in the presentation, on the next committee of the whole, which is the 19th, I believe it's the 19th or the 16th of April. It's in here. 16th of April. And then the last slide that we'll go over is just what the budget timeline will look like. Okay, so each year I will present what the expense challenges are. These are pretty much the same areas that are a challenge for us. Charter school tuition, special education, PCERS retirement costs, transportation, special placements, and charter school expenditures, and the last two are salary and benefits. This is another slide that's important. We'd like to keep track of what our enrollment looks like. You will see, and this slide will start at 2018 through 19 school year, and will end up what we're assuming, and right now it's an assumption that our enrollment will stay the same. Our current enrollment is approximately 3,799 students in district and 719 students going to charter schools. Our charter school budget amount for this coming year, for 26-27, I have it in the budget at $17,500,000. Our district staff, which includes everybody that we pay, 771 employees. And then there's the rates for employer share of retirement. Last year it was 34%. This year it's going to be at 33.59%. We have school climate support at a cost of $620,000. The increase in the charter school tuition, I have it at $1,453,161, and the SDEA contract and others, all the other agreements and CBAs that we have in place will all be to be determined and will be presented at the April 16th meeting. Most important high-cost area is charter schools. So this first slide is all of the charter schools that we currently provide tuition costs to. And it's pretty self-explanatory. You can see who the schools are and how many students that we have in those schools. Moving to the next slide. There are, as I said, a variety. So for our current year, as I said before, we have 719 students. We have regular ed students, 554, and special education students, 165. The next couple slides, just so there's more clarity on it, there will be a slide for the kids that attend, the students that attend cyber, and then we have students that attend brick and mortar schools. I usually break those areas down, but this presentation will just go a little bit further in the impact of cyber versus brick and mortar. On page 8, we're going to cover the cyber schools first. So as I said before, well, I didn't say before, but we have 297 kids in cyber. And you can see those costs. So I will say that this year, there were 2 different calculations. PDE wanted us to calculate charter school cost or charter school tuition differently than regular, not regular, but brick and mortar. The reason is that cyber is cyber, so there are no facilities that they have to maintain or school buildings that they have to maintain. So for years and years, the rates used to be the same. So for this year, for 25-26, we recalculated our PDE 363, which is the charter school tuition rate calculation form. And this year for cyber, each student, regular ed student, is $17,089.24. Special education is $32,298.66. Next slide is the cost for brick and mortar. These are all the students that we have in brick and mortar. You can see that there are 422 students. Oh, and if I could just go back a slide, I'm sorry. So the cost for cyber out of the total is $6,322,677 rounding up. Going back to brick and mortar, we have, these are our schools that are identified as brick and mortar schools. If you look at the top row, you will see that the rate for brick and mortar, the regular tuition is $18,403, and special education, $54,679.69. Now, in years past, those numbers used to be the same. So cyber and brick and mortar would receive those dollar amounts. So there wasn't anything that showed a difference between the cost for cyber and brick and mortar. So each of the schools, at the beginning of the year, until they requested that we submit a new calculation, everyone was calculated $18,403 for regular and $54,679 or $680 for special education. So for brick and mortar, the amount currently is going to be $10,777,031.27. Before I move off of that slide, just as a point of reference, assuming that the rates did not change, if they did not change, regular ed costs would have increased from this calculation I have here by $282,458. Special education costs would have increased $1,835,245. So if they had not changed the calculation of the tuition rate, it would have been an additional $2,117,703, which would have brought the total up from the number I said earlier, which was the 17 million. It would have then been $19,217,411. Okay. The next slide, I talked about Act 1. This is for, it's a combination of what we are allowed to increase taxes in the district, and for Southeast Delco. So the year obviously is the fiscal year, the first column. The second column is going to be the base. So wealthier school districts will have a base of 3.5 this year. And then for school districts that have certain needs, there's a special calculation. So for this year, this document, this process is saying that we can increase taxes 5.2%. I want to draw your attention to the last column. And you can see in the Southeast Delco column, Act 1 index for Southeast Delco, you'll see what we could have increased taxes. You will see in the last column that going back, and I'll go back to when I started here, which was the 1920 school year, we were allowed to increase taxes 3.4%. I calculated the budget's 3.0%. Okay, and then in the ensuing year, 3.9, I recommended 3.9 that year. 4.6, recommended 3.9. The next year, 5.1, again, recommended 3.9, and there's a reason for that. And then in the 23-24, we were allowed to do 6.2, we did a 0. In 24-25, we were allowed to do 8.1, we did 2.5. And in 25-26, we were allowed to do 6%, and we did 2.5. This year for 26-27 is to be determined. The simplest answer is for those initial years that the district, when I got here, had some financial challenges that we needed to correct. So getting up to the 23-24, we had corrected those challenges. And that was a variety of approaches of reviewing expenditures, looking at contracts, all those good things to be responsible and good stewards of taxpayers' money. Also making a priority to increasing the rigor of the instructional program to make sure that our students are being properly educated. Again, moving forward, we could have done 8.1, we did 2.5 because being constructive, being conservative, that's where we were at, and that would have kept us whole and also responsible to educate students in a responsible way. So that's just a little background on that. Tonight, we're going to cover object code. I mentioned earlier, object codes 300 to 900. Looking over in the, yes? Oh, sorry. Thank you, Dr. Sanchez. Just bear with me. Oh, it did. Hey, guys. It fully disconnected. All right, let me try this again. Let me do it this way, because it's asking me for a username.
Just close out that tab.
Oh, close the whole thing out?
Just that tab.
Oh, this one here?
Cancel.
Or up here?
Or up there.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You're the best. Thanks, Matt. Sorry about that, folks. So again, this is object codes 300 to 900. I neglected to put over on the far left, the first employee salaries is 100, employee benefits 200, and the next slide, the next presentation, I'll fix that. Purchase professional is 300, purchase property 400, other purchase services is 5, supplies 600, property 700, other objects 800, and lastly, other uses of funds is 900. Under purchase professional, what you'll see there is, this is the category that we keep track of instructional for regular and special education, professional services, contracted services, legal, student activities, professional development is also charged as a contracted services. And these are our expenditures that are non-employee related for outside services. Purchase property, and you'll see that those budget amounts this year increasing that amount by $1,658,000. I'll go over those increases and what the planned outcome will look like. The next item is purchase property services, which covers utilities, repair and maintenance, rental of building and equipment. Other purchase services would be charter schools, approved private schools, contracted carriers for transportation. Supplies is just that for instructional, non-instructional. There is a object code in there for utilities, software, books. Property is equipment, new and replacement. Other objects, this is the 800 category. This is where we have our debt service payment for previous borrowings for renovations. So it would include debt service payment. This is just the interest portion of it, and then there's dues and fees that are just for regular operating. That's a nominal amount. Most of that amount is for the repayment of debt service. And then the last category, 900, this is the principal portion of debt service. 800 is the interest portion. 900 is the principal portion. Those two will add up to a little over $6 million. That number has been consistent since I've been here. And that's the way we like to keep our debt service, so that it's predictable and we keep it even. Even when we do renovations, if we do renovations on any of our facilities or tear a building down, the plan is to keep debt service stable so that it's predictable. So there's a structured refinancing. We look at the entire debt, and then we move from that point farther forward. Again, and that will keep debt service predictable, and we know exactly what we need to expect when we're putting a budget document together. That is for this period of time, for that part of the budget. Again, on this slide, you will see that at the April 16th meeting, I will present the employee salaries and also employee benefits. Also in that presentation, it will pull the entire budget together. So everything will be there. It will be from object code 100 through 900, and all the expenditures will be presented. And at the April 23rd meeting, we have to, by school code, adopt a proposed final budget. It is not the final budget, it is proposed. So from each of these meetings, we will still be doing hard work to get down to the final adoption that will be at the June 25th meeting. Are there any questions?
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
I just have one question on page 11. If there is a way to help us get what the year-to-date spending has been on object code 300, 400, 500, and 600, so that we can get an idea, because we're looking at the increases in, I think that's object code 400.
Oh, 400?
400, no, excuse me, 300. No, yeah, 300 going up 23%, 400 going up 18%, 500 going up 17%, and, no, that was six, I think 600 going up 17%, and 500, although it's only going up 5.25, just so that we can have a better idea of why the cost, that dramatic cost increase for this upcoming budget, just so we can have a better idea of those numbers. That's
Sure.
all.
So what I will do, Mr. Ridley, is the year-to-date is not going to necessarily be that helpful. Year-to-date up through February of this year. So what I will do is to also include the year-end reports for 24, 25.
Okay.
And that'll give you a better sense. And again, so when you see these numbers, some of the numbers will change because I will be looking at other areas. Some of these numbers that are contracted are for individuals that we contract out for, whether it's staffing, substitute services. You will find in the next couple meetings that based on presentations that Dr. Sanchez has presented, that there are extra dollars that have come in that allowed us to hire employees, which will have a flip to the contracted amount versus the employee amount. So it may balance out. So that number may change. Well, most likely it will change. But right now, for this purpose, it's where it's at.
All right, thank you.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. Up next is our Personnel and Human Resources Committee. Mr. Patrick McGowan, our chair, will be reporting out tonight.
Thank you, Madam President. The Personnel Committee met on March the 10th. We discussed items for the March agenda items for approval for HR, current HR initiatives, and discussed the two goals that the Personnel Committee had previously set out. In reference to the two goals, the two committee goals, goal number 1, reporting of monthly exit numbers. Setting up the report to capture exit numbers and trends to be shared with the school board. Ms. Woolley shared initial tracking report uploaded into our shared drive for board review. The committee discussed expanding the data in the report, building out the tracking report to have more data source points to help identify trends. Goal number 2, providing a brief write-up on providing a brief write-up on HR approvals for new hires. Include high overview of candidates' experience. This will be a trial basis starting with the professional positions first. As of March's report, no professional positions moved forward for board approval. Therefore, no write-up was needed on this month's agenda. Update on the business manager search. DCIU started their search for business managers, including marketing ads to look for a business manager. We proactively booked the DCIU Morton Office Boardroom for April 14th and 15th for round 1 interviews. So last month we reported the $2,000 award from DCIU for use on staff. Items have been purchased such as juicers, blenders, blood pressure monitors, and Apple Watches. We will be doing a raffle event to award prizes to staff. Southeast Elko was awarded a silver award for DCIU for the highest participation in Walking for Wellness program. And we have the award here that I would like to, Ms. Woolley was kind enough to give to me and to share and show everybody. So congratulations to Southeast Elko and our HR staff. HR is currently working with CVS to set up flu shots for the upcoming September 2026 school year. DCIU will be holding a job fair coming up on March 25th, 2026. The job fair is for support and professional staff. Our HR department will set up a table at the job fair to recruit for Southeast Elko School District. Currently, we also are looking at a summer pay increase for our teachers who work during the summer. This will make our summer pay more competitive with our community school districts, and Dr. Sanchez will be able to provide some clarity, I believe, for next week coming up on our monthly meeting. Agenda items for approval for March for HR. We have 3 ratifications for terminations of classified employees, 1 ratification for a resignation of a professional employee, 4 ratifications for resignations of for classified employees, 1 ratification for rehiring of a professional employee, 7 ratifications for employment for classified employees, 1 ratification for a change of assignment for a professional employee, 1, ratification for leave of absence for a professional employee. 3, ratifications for supplemental contracts for the 25-26 school year. 4, ratifications for employees for the mentoring program. 1, approval for resignation of a classified employee. 1, approval for resignation of a professional employee. 6, approvals for employment for classified employees. 1, approval for leave of absence of a professional employee. 1, approval for leave of absence of a classified employee. We have 1 approval for an employee for a long-term substitute social worker at the Sharon Hill School, effective March 16th to June 16th, 2026. And then finally, also on our agenda is to approve the amendment for the management team, Act 93, 26 to 2029 agreement to include 10-month employees in Section D, management teamwork year. The supporting document is attached. This will align for the 10-month employees, sorry, let me read that. 10-month employees who work 200 days work year, which includes 190 school days and 10 mandatory maximum summer days, includes 10 sick days, 3 personal days, and the option to buy back or roll over personal days next year. And again, the supporting document is in our drive. Areas of agreement, we agreed on HR items for 2026 board business meeting. Any concerns or considerations noted were none. Key findings for the board to consider, again, we are asking the board to move forward and approve the Act 93 amendment. This was brought as a result of a newly created Supervisor of Behavioral Health and Dean of Students positions that fall under Act 93, but are 10-month positions. This will make sure that the positions stay equitable with those who are in Act 93, but are 12-month positions. Committee consensus. The committee has reached a consensus on this. There were no conflicting viewpoints. At this time, we are asking the board for approval on these items. Our next meeting is scheduled for April the 8th at 6 p.m. That concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. McGowan. Does anybody have any questions or comments for the HR report tonight?
I do have just one little suggestion. Obviously, these are some amazing things going on and absolutely wonderful. I only ask that in the future, not this go around, but in the future, can we consider adding like Fitbits to some of the things so that, because an Apple Watch is wonderful, but like if I have Samsung, it doesn't do anything for me. So like to help, keep people wanting to go for it, I'll go for a Fitbit. I'm just saying. Like, just something to consider. Not nothing required, but just a suggestion.
We'll take that back. Thank you.
So we will be moving on to policy. I believe tonight Mr. McGowan will be reporting out for policy.
Yep, bear with me here. Policy met on March 10th, 2026. The purpose of the committee discussion, the committee met to review and discuss upcoming policy motions as it relates to board governance. The goal of the committee is to provide a policy guideline to district personnel to guide the decision-making for the best interests of the students and staff in accordance with legal standing and the purview of the school board. For summary of discussion, the committee reviewed policies on new attendance requirements and new weapons notifications from the state. Administration provided information on 2 policies that may be presented in the future, Title I engagement and educational equity. There were no key questions raised as both first readings are required by PA code and law. Areas of agreement included that the policy should move forward due to state requirements. There are no areas of disagreement or concern. Key findings. The exemption from instruction from the exemption from instruction and district social media policies are the same as the first readings. The attendance policy requires that the district to notify families of habitual truant students that they may not transfer to a cyber charter school. The committee also recommends that they cannot transfer to the Southeast Elko Cyber Program either with special approval. The weapons policy will require administration to notify families and staff of a school where there is a weapons violation. There was no fiscal impact. Policy impact, yes. This reference to policy numbers 204 and 218.1. The committee did reach a consensus, and we are asking the board to approve the items as presented. Both policy updates are required by the state. This completes my policy report, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. McGowan. Does anybody have any questions or comments regarding policy tonight?
I have a question about the bullet point about the attendance policy that requires the district to notify families. Is it correctly stated, like the way that it's written here? Is that correctly stated?
Give me 1 second here.
I'm sorry, that was on the last point. It says that the committee will not allow the student to transfer to a Southeast Delco cyber program, either with special approval?
Dr. Ryan, is that policy 218-1? Or is that the 204? Okay. So is that, yeah, thank you.
I don't have that in front of me. So we had a discussion. So the new law is that the kids can't transfer to an outside entity like Mr. Butler presented in the budget presentation.
Okay.
We also have a cyber program, and we discussed to be consistent that you can't run from an attendance problem in, let's say, Delcroft and just go to our cyber program unless you have approval from somebody in administration to do that. So we just don't want people hopping from one placement to the other to avoid dealing with the underlying truancy problem. So we're just trying to make it consistent with what the state's asking for our own program.
Thank
So
you.
I think the point of clarification is that I think it says, instead of saying either with special approval, it should be without special
Yeah.
approval.
Okay.
Without,
I
yeah.
think that was what was missing.
It was a
there.
typo.
Yeah, thank you for catching that.
Typo.
Thank you, everybody. So moving on, our Properties Committee will be next. Ms. Trina Singleton, our chair, will give us updates on our properties.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening. The Properties Committee met on March the 4th. The committee met to review and discuss updates from the Director of Facilities and Operations as it relates to the goal of keeping systems and trainings up to date and the safety of the staff and students in mind. We got updates on the FMX system. In the month of February, there were 89 work orders submitted. 61 work orders were completed at the time of our meeting. Mr. Taylor did note that they wouldn't be in line because of the days off in school or trying to catch up with the system. So at that time, it was only 61 work orders completed. And that at that time, the Director of Facilities, Mr. Taylor, had also taken a FMX webinar for the titled Utility Manager, Transfer Your Utilities into Strategic Insights. And I just made that point is because that he does take advantage of all of the trainings for the system to make sure that he's updated on how the system is working, any updates to the system, and any changes that he needs to share with his staff. The next thing was the lead in drinking water testing results. At our last committee meeting, we had, Mr. Taylor had reported that they had did the lead testing, and so they had gotten the results back. So it was lead in drinking water testing results / 3-year AHERA reinspection results. So the results from the lead water testing, that was non-detected, which is under the PA Act 39 limit. And so our schools or our district fulfills the 2025, 2026 obligation for testing our water. The district's 2026 reinspection report, as required by the Federal Emergency Act and Southeast, the Federal Emergency Act and defined in Federal Code of Registry 40 CFR 763.85, the Southeast Delco School District's buildings, and the AHERA paperwork listed were in full compliance. There were building inspections completed since our last committee meeting. Fallcroft Borough completed their inspection on February 16, 2026. It was, on February 26th. And then the Educational Service Center and Delcroft Elementary both passed their building inspections. So that's great. Upcoming projects, department events, Academy Park High School weight room appearance upgrade will begin during spring break. The Liberty Doors were done on March the 9th and 10th. And the dumpster removal at Academy Park High School, they're still trying to work on getting a solution to getting that dumpster removed. Again, it seems to be abandoned there, and so it's going to take some time for them to figure out how to get that dumpster removed. Also, they are to begin discussions to solicit a new cleaning contract for the school district. The current contract ends July 2026. So Mr. Taylor is in discussions with Mr. Butler as well as the superintendent to discuss a budget for the cleaning contracts and all the particulars, and they will make a report back to the board before we move forward. Agenda items that we need to approve. We need to approve the 3-year trash and recycle removal bid for Republic Services. Year 1 is in the amount of $107,814, and that's going to be paid from the general fund. The service agreement is going to begin on July 1st, and it'll go through June 30th, 2027, and there should be documentation uploaded as well. So that's the one agenda item that we need to approve. There were some questions about the lead in the drinking water, if we need to continue to test the water, and right now, no further action is needed. We also ask about researching what other school districts are doing as far as their cleaning contracts, because our current recycling and trash contract is in conjunction with other school districts. And so, maybe we can kind of use what they're doing and make our search a little bit less, we would have to do less research because other schools have already done it. Let's see. It was also brought up that we want to be able to use our properties to tie our alumni to the buildings. So some ideas were thrown out about doing, projects or having alumni purchase bricks and maybe brick in a walkway or something like that to kind of connect alumni with the school, and also, and then they'll also raise funds and also beautify the school as well. Let's see. Areas of agreement, the FMX system is working fine. The staff is doing well, completing and closing the work orders. We're glad to know that the water is safe, the students and staff are protected and free from lead based on PA standards. And we agreed that, you know, they can get more done when they do the school projects, they do building projects while the school is closed and the staff is out, everybody is safer, and they can get more done. What you need to know before voting for the trash and recycling contract is that they did work with other districts to find out what they were doing, and they did like a group contract so that it would be more economical for the schools. Let's see. Fiscal impact, just funding of the contract. There's no policy impact. We reached a consensus that we thought that should be approved. And then, let's see, we recommend, again, that you approve the recycling contract with Republic. And I think that we should approve it as presented, and then there's documentation included. The meeting is wrong. So our meeting would fall on April the 1st, and school will be closed on April the 1st. So our meeting is to be determined. If there's additional information that we want to share, then we'll set up a meeting at that time.
Thank you so
Thank
much, Mrs. Singleton. Does anybody have any questions or comments for the Properties Committee tonight?
I actually do, Madam President. So, and I'm not sure, Ms. Singleton, if you could answer this, or Ms. Dr. Sanchez, the dumpster at the high school, where we're working on the active solutions, at what point would we consider the dumpster abandoned property if the company isn't getting back to us about removing it? And is there anything legally we can do to get that off of our property if it's considered abandoned?
So I'm gonna ask Mr. Taylor to
That's what I was
help me
gonna
with
say.
at the mic. I'm gonna start the conversation, because every time I go to the high school, I take a picture and I say, where are we at with this? Unfortunately, the company has defunct. It's not available. We can't reach them. So we are trying to find another way to be able to get rid of not only the dumpster, but the trash that's inside. So today, we brainstormed, could we transfer some of the trash into the dumpster that we have? Because there are legal reasons that are limiting how we get rid of the dumpster. So that technicality, I'm going to ask you to share as to how our hands are tied as to getting rid of the dumpster by just hauling it and taking it somewhere.
Okay, yeah, so basically, we considered that dumpster abandoned about 5 years ago. We tried numerous times to try to reach out to the company. It's no answers or nothing. Sometimes we will get a pickup, but it's a random truck, no lettering, it's all white, can't catch the tag, and it comes at random times. I tried to reach out to Republic, our trash company, but they will not touch it because it's not theirs due to liability reasons if anything happens. So what I'm trying to do is see if I can get a tow truck company and see if we can get it on a flatbed and see if we can get it down to the recycling yard. But like I said, our hands are tied a lot and we can't reach this company and nobody else wants to deal with someone else's trash in all sense.
I understand that, because my thought process is, and I don't know if this is, even if we can get it to out back where the other dumpsters are, because right now, we all kind of agree, it's kind of
Yeah, if
an
we get it
eyesore
moved, we're
in the
not gonna put
front.
it nowhere else on the property.
Yeah,
If
so
we
no,
can
I
get it
agree with
moved,
that,
it's
but
gone.
I was just wondering if, is the company, like you said, defunct, like they're no longer in business at all?
Nowhere to be found. And we also tried to reach out to Sharon Hill Borough, see if we could burn it, but then EPA guidelines and everything, big dogs came in.
Gotcha.
We're
Not a
really-
problem.
But we're working on it.
No, I'm sure you guys are. Thank you very much.
So now, can the idea that Dr. Sanchez said, can it be the trash? It sounds so stupid, but I mean, it may have to take the trash from one dumpster, put it in our dumpster so it can get dumped, and then get it, and that aluminum being recycled is money for the district.
Correct. So with that, our guys will take off some, but a lot of that stuff down there has been there with
Oh,
water
okay, yeah,
compacted.
yeah.
There,
Ew.
yeah, you don't want the union to come knocking.
Ew. Ew. Okay.
I actually had a quick question about, in the Google Drive, or the folder for facilities, we do have the bid information, but we didn't have a contract information.
Well, DCIU will be sending that out.
Okay,
So,
so,
yes.
so we're not voting on it till we get the contract, right?
Yes, their development, it should all be to you by the board meeting, hopefully.
Got it. Okay,
But yes,
yeah.
their development, we did it through DCIU with the joint purchasing
Okay,
for
thank you.
Delaware County. Okay.
Finally, tonight, we have our Safety Committee, and that is chaired by Ms. Cleo Bay Goodman.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. So we met on Monday, March 9th via Teams. The team and I discussed, the committee met to review and discuss items and trainings as it relates to safety and security and how it fits with the goal of the committee to stay current of safety and security needs within the district. We discussed upcoming trainings. We also discussed the cyber bullying policy, that it was reviewed and updated in 2025. There were no key questions raised. Areas of agreement included that outside events provide their own security or request security from us for a fee. We also were made aware that security for the junior prom has not been requested yet through the FMX program. All right, while she's checking that, I'm gonna move on. We're looking into the research for technology options. We're going to start reviewing research technology options to prepare for the cell phone ban rollout. There is no physical impact, there's no policy impact. The committee reached a consensus. There's no action to take at this time. The next meeting is April 13th. Were you able to clarify? Could you help me out?
Yeah, I sure can. It was the after prom for the senior prom. That hasn't, they haven't requested the security for that yet, so they can submit an email to Mr. Taylor with that request. And we'll follow up with Mr. Reznov, I'm so sorry. Wrong person, Mr. Reznov. And that will be taken care of. We'll connect with the home and school to get that submitted.
Thank you, Vice. Again, our next meeting will be April 13th, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Bay Goodman. Does anybody have any questions or comments on that report?
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any public comments tonight?
We do not, Madam President.
Do,
We need a card. If you're interested in making some public comments, we just need you to fill out the card that's on the side there. We need you to fill out the card that's on the side there, please. Thank you very much. I'd like to invite Mayor Spadea to the mic.
I know y'all can't wait till I speak,
Ms.
right?
Spadea, you have 3 minutes.
I only need 2 seconds. I just wanted to say, I did do the Reading Across America. I went to the 2 schools, Harris and Darby Township. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how the teachers do it. The students in the schools, I don't want to say anything bad, but they're out of control. They're standing up in the middle of the class, speaking out, just doing what they want to do. And it's not fair to the teachers. The one teacher that was in Darby Township handled her class wonderfully. And then one young man came in and disrupted the whole class. In Harris Elementary, there were 8 students sound asleep with their hats and coats on. I don't understand. I really don't. These children need to be in school, paying attention, alert. They are served breakfast and lunch, I know that, so they're not hungry. It's sad. I was brokenhearted when I went into Harris. When I went to Darby Township, the children were like very excited, but again, one child came into the room, disrupted the whole room. So I just think someone needs to look into situations in some of the classrooms. And I do want to thank Darby Township Elementary for allowing us to go in and celebrate James. It was a wonderful day for him. He got out of the hospital. The fireman from Collingdale brought him down on the truck. He was so excited, but the best part was every child in that school came out. They made posters for him, and they cheered him on. And according to his parents, they're still getting in contact with him. So it was a good thing. So thank you.
So I want to say thank you for what you did to organize that, the work that you did with the fire company, the police department, and then reaching out to us and allowing our students, even if it was from the side of the school, to welcome back. So thank you for that. I'd like to invite Ms. Tasker to the microphone.
Good evening, Ms. Tasker. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. My name is Bernadette. My son, Dimitri, attends Harris. He is in the 8th grade. Just a couple of concerns. This is my first meeting, so please bear with me. The first is the fact that they don't have a math teacher. That is still just like, it is gnarling me. It's really getting at me. And so he comes home with all this homework. I'm fussing at him at the table. He's like, well, I don't know it. The teacher doesn't teach, da-da-da-da-da. Well, I could say you're BS and playing around, except that we called about 5 other kids, and they all said the same thing, that they don't know the math. That is a problem. And I tell you why that's a problem. Because I'm on top of my son. He's an honor roll student. We're going to get him the honor roll. It's just taking a little bit. But the fact that all these kids don't know 8th grade math, how can we expect them to go and to be productive at whatever school they're going to? I know some are going to Roman Catholic, some are going to other schools, but if they can't do the basic, how are they going to get in excel? I do understand that there is a tutoring program. I reached out to the tutor. It's almost midterms, and I don't know anything. So I did call and say, hey, my name is Bernadette. What's going on with the tutoring program? I'm happy to announce that that is on the up and up. It looks like that program is going to be started after they come back from spring break. So we do have the tutoring program. Out of 90 kids, only 8 or 9 kids signed up. I think that's disgraceful. What they said was the rollout, and that the kids in Sharon Hill and Harris their parents, and I can't speak for them, but must not have been made aware of the tutoring program that's going to happen from 6 to 7:30 Monday, Tuesdays, and they're actually talking about giving us another day because these kids are so far behind. So just, I did reach out in regards to that and happy to know that that is something that's being worked on. But I'm worried about my son. I'm worried about him falling behind and not, when he does transition to Academy Park, because he is going there, that he won't be prepared. Also, no librarians. That's a small hiccup, but still, I think that is something if they want to write research papers and stuff like that to help him get there. I'm just really, really a little disappointed with everything going on. So, thank you.
So I'm going to share an update, and then I'm going to ask Mrs. Woolley and Dr. Reddick-Smack to make sure that I don't miss anything. So if you can walk to the mic while I start answering this. So thank you for raising the concern. Please believe that it's been a priority for us to identify a qualified, certified math teacher, not only for one building, but we're in need in two buildings, as you mentioned, both Harris and Sharon Hill. So we continue to do that. We've come up with a strategy to be able to make sure that we put a certified math teacher from within the district at least once, if not twice per week, to be able to support the supplemental teacher, which is a teacher that's not certified in that grade and in that content area, but that the students will see at the very least once per week a certified teacher from the district. Additionally, we've been working, as you mentioned already, to partner with Ask for Tutoring to make sure we are providing additional supports 2 to 3 times a week. And we have a plan, and we have communicated. So want to reiterate to the families that are listening, who may not have heard it in different modes, that we are going to be providing that additional support. So I would like for Dr. Reddick-Smack to really talk about the support between our current staffing that we're going to share within the district and also the plan for the Ask for Tutoring.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So just to focus primarily on Harris, because I know that is your area of concern, we have, again, rolled out the invitation and a secondary letter, which will be our second rollout of information regarding Ask for Tutoring. You're correct, we do have about 8 parents that signed up, so we're looking for additional. The plan was never to stop there, but we also didn't want to hold up the progress of the 8 students that already enrolled while we waited for others. So that's why you were contacted and the information was given in terms of the orientation. So there still is time to sign up, there still is the orientation to be held, and in addition to the tutoring that's being offered at Harris, we are also in a position with our math interventionist who will go in and provide instruction on an A schedule or A week, B week schedule. So 3 days a week, they receive math instruction from our math interventionist, who is a middle school certified teacher, middle school math specifically. And then the second week would be a 2-day week. In between there, the supplemental teacher that's in place should be supporting the instruction that the math interventionist is coming in and giving on the days that they're there. So between that and the supports with Ask for Tutoring, that's our way to try to bridge some of the gap. As far as our Sharon Hill students, there are 7th grade students. The same offer was made to them regarding participation in Ask for Tutoring. Their setup looks a little bit different because in terms of a math certified teacher, we had to pull from another building to be able to support a minimum of at least 1 day a week, so as not to upset the schedule of other students that teacher also teaches. So we're trying to work through the nuts and bolts of it while we're still trying to identify suitable candidates to stand before our kids and teach them math instruction. So we just ask that you bear with us, but we are plugging away, just trying to ensure that our students are somewhat prepared as much as we can for the time that we're in now.
So she shared what I was hoping Mrs. Woolley would share, which is that we have not given up on figuring out how we hire a certified teacher specifically for those classrooms. But you mentioned, I want to make sure it gets echoed. The plan is that orientations are happening the week of the 23rd.
Yes, orientations are next week.
Then there's spring break, and then the week of April 6th will be the 2 to 3 times per week.
2 to 3 times per week. I spoke with Coach Kelly earlier this week, and they're looking to offer anywhere between 2 to 3 days per week, with 1 day being optional. So there is that option for additional math support outside of the 2 days that you may already be scheduled for.
I'm sorry, one more thing that's really critical is that Dr. Reddick Smack is working with Coach Kelly and her staff so that they have copies of our curriculum and they're using our curriculum to do the
To
instruction.
provide the instruction, along with our pacing guides and along with our unit plans. Sure.
Madam President, those were the only two comments.
Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions from board members tonight? Okay, seeing none. Our next board business meeting will be next Thursday, March 26th at 7 p.m. Committee of the Whole for April will be Thursday, April 16th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Our April board business meeting will be Thursday, April 23rd, 2026 at 7 p.m. Thank you all for coming tonight, and we hope to see you next week at board business. At this time, the board will enter into executive session, so we ask that all non-board members please exit the room so we can begin our session. Thank you so much.